Courage enhances success. I mean, how can courage enhance success? First, you have to understand what courage and success are. The Cambridge Dictionary defines courage as the ability to control your fears in a dangerous or difficult situation. Courage is being able to continue through difficult situations that may present themselves as obstacles when someone is trying to reach their goals. Cambridge then goes on to define success as the achieving of the results wanted or hoped for. Success is achieving goals that people have made to accomplish. To me, success is someone that makes an impact on the world and leaves behind a legacy. To make an impact on the world, people need to have courage to push on and keep going. How does my argument connect to the stimulus? My argument focuses on people's adversity throughout their lives and how they use courage to get past the adversities and become successful. This connects to the stimulus because the stimulus is about courage. Both the articles, Lois Campbell, A Small Measure of Justice, and Thompson, Simone Biles, The Most Human Meaning of Courage, have helped me to prove my argument throughout my paper and presentation. The stimulus also helped me to clear out some of my thinking and to focus on one main idea. Martin Luther King Jr., Jackie Robinson, and Simone Biles are all great examples of people showing courage throughout their difficult times. MLK lived during a time where black people were not treated as equally as others. He started to help fight for black people when he was 26. According to the Nobel Prize, King was arrested, his house was bombed, and he was subjected to personal abuse. But at the same time, he emerged as a Negro leader of the first rank. MLK went through many adversities like being arrested, but he didn't stop and ended up rising to be the lead of the movement. Jackie Robinson was also born during a time where blacks were segregated from the whites. Even sports were segregated too. But he was the first black to break the color barrier. He had the courage to play baseball when he knew he could be shot or hung at any moment. Lastly, Simone Biles also showed courage throughout her life. During the 2020 Olympics, she messed up during a routine and ended up needing a break. She said, "I was fighting all those demons." Simone knew she couldn't continue because she'd get hurt. She had the courage to back out and do what's right instead of risking her career. People today can still become like Jackie Robinson, MLK, and Simone Biles. They all have left behind legacies that many should follow and learn from. Success does take time, though. It isn't something that can be done overnight. To become successful, people need to have the courage to spend the time, energy, and money to become the successful person they want to be. Deborah Fingel, who's a professor at the University of Missouri, states, "Courage is a dynamic phenomenon that develops over time to push through efforts to accept reality, problem solve based on discernment, and to push beyond ongoing struggles, leading to personal integrity and thriving. This explains that courage is needed to get past obstacles and to continue going. People need to have the courage to stay on track and end up getting to the final success they desire. What are some ways that people today can have success? Firstly, they can challenge their fears and get past them. To start, people have to take the time to figure out what their fears are and to figure out what needs to be done. Once they find what their fears are, they can start to find ways to get past them. One way can be facing them up front, ready to conquer them, and aren't afraid to be scared. This takes courage. Courage is very necessary for someone who is facing their fears, especially for the first time. If someone didn't have courage, they would most likely get scared and back away. This can be very stressing, but can help clear obstacles for future successes. Secondly, people can come together and work with one another. Being successful doesn't just happen all by yourself. Friends, family, and communities can come together to help one another out to be successful. Kate Swoboda, the author of The Courage Habit, said, "First, creating courageous communities in our lives can give us the support we need to face challenges. Not only do communities help one another out, but they can create support needed by others who are struggling. All these ways can lead to people being successful and building better lives for themselves and others." Lastly, courage doesn't have to be the biggest and most seen achievement. According to Susan Elford, a mental coach, states, take small steps. Courage doesn't always require you to take the big ones. This quote from Elford shows that courage doesn't require people to stand out. They need to get it started because it'll make it easier for them later. Many people, like MLK, did most of his things in silence. Some things he spread out to the public. But before that, he had to do things by himself, teaching and helping others without wanting to be noticed. Starting to do something small may lead to something bigger and will lead to success. What is the best way to become successful with courage? The best way to become successful is to come with a community and help one another out. Doing small things to start is a good starting point, but may not lead to full success because someone may stop and cannot continue. Challenging and conquering fears is also a good way, but may result in PTSD or people not trying again because of the fear. Both of these ways can be fixed more. This leaves the best way, which is coming together as a community. Communities offer many ways to socialize and converse about ways to help one another become successful. They can help each other develop the courage to do things that may be uncomfortable or unpleasant. This way can help people today become successful and build up a better community at the same time. In the end, courage does enhance success. MLK, Simone Biles, Jackie Robinson all showed courage and ended up having success and leaving behind a legacy for all people to follow. It can be very easy for people today to give up. Milindochenko stated, and I drive this road every day. And some days I feel really, really tired fighting this lawsuit against the United States government. And all I have to do is look up and see the Ghost Ridge. Remember the people that starved to death for injustice. People have the chance to give up, but their courage is what keeps them going and leads them to be very successful. That's it.
Thank you. So, Michael, how did your preliminary information you gathered inform your research?
So at the start, during 7th or 8th grade, I learned about MLK and how he had to go through all these adversities and trials and tribulations throughout his life, and this helped me to come up with an idea to write about him and all the other African Americans that were treated or mistreated during the civil rights movement.
Okay. And how's your conclusion and conversation with the literature research that you looked at?
So Kate Salvato, she was the one that talked about courageous communities and how building communities can lead to success. So I got most of my conclusion and figuring the best way from her. She helped me to find which way was better between the 3 different ways.
Okay, thank you.